Hi, Jonathan. This is Christina from The Upcoming. So lovely
Hi,
to
Chris-
speak with you today.
Hi, Christina.
To start things off, would you like to share what audiences can expect from your friends and neighbors?
It's sometimes it's a dramatic comedy, sometimes it's a comedic drama. But there's a lot of there's satire, there's suspense, and then there's a lot of emotional interacting. There's just it's kind of a full service sort of. I would say it's a comedy. I guess it's a dramatic comedy. It tackles some very serious subject matter in a somewhat lighthearted way.
And what sparked the idea for the show?
I lived in a town like this for 15 years and I paid attention. And after I left, I always felt that, the time is right to sort of tell a story about the people who live in these towns.
Could you share some of the specific inspirations behind Westmont Village, where the show takes place, from the houses to the country club to the
I mean,
people?
yeah, there's a lot of towns in Westchester and even New Jersey and Long Island where I live in New York, but there's certainly a lot of towns in Westchester that operate like this, that are centered around private schools and country clubs and, a really robust housing market. And, I lived in one such neighborhood, but we were surrounded by others, at a much higher wealth level than ours. And it could be pretty much any town in sort of the wealthier towns in the Hudson Valley and Westchester County in New York.
In many of your books, your stories often explore this suburban sprawl, suburban life.
Yeah.
What felt different about portraying this in television form on your friends and neighbors?
This actually was a very welcome return to that for me because the TV I've done for the last 10 or 11 years hasn't been anything like that. And I miss writing about these towns as I did in my novels. So for me, the most exciting thing was getting to write about it again. What was different about doing it on television is actually having to go out and find the houses and find people who would let you shoot in their houses and find the country clubs and actually weave the world together with different locations. Whereas when you write it in a book, you can just imagine it that way and there it is. I think it was really challenging to go out and to create this fictional town, which is really pieced together from about 3 different towns.
Aside from creating Westmont Village, what kind of research did you do in creating this? Probably with hedge funds or the value of items.
Yeah, so yeah, we spent a lot of time. I do have a number of friends who work in hedge funds or run hedge funds, and I brought a number of hedge fund people into the writers' room to kind of keep us honest and tell us how these things really work. And then yeah, we worked really hard with a number of consultants. We had an art consultant. What kind of paintings are hanging on these people's walls? We had a luxury goods consultant, but we worked with people to really understand, what are the objects that we want to feature that will be meaningful in this community. So yeah, it wasn't like sit at a desk research or internet research. It was really a lot of working with people who know about this stuff.
And what made Jon Hamm the right actor to play Coop?
It's interesting because I actually never pictured anyone but Jon Hamm in this role, and I actually didn't write the script until I'd already met with him and pitched it to him. So when I wrote the script, I was actually imagining Jon Hamm in the role, and I think what it is when you see someone like Jon Hamm, you can imagine a certain level of success and entitlement, and at the same time a humanity and an empathy. And so I needed somebody who was I was gonna be able to present as initially entitled and possibly even arrogant, but then once we cut him down to size, he was gonna, behave badly, and I needed the audience to go along with that and to still remain sympathetic with him. And I just couldn't think of anyone other than Jon Hamm who can pull all that off in one performance.
And congratulations on the early renewal. What are you the most
Thanks.
excited to explore in the second season?
Well, I'm not going to say much about the second season because we're about to start shooting it, so we've already written most of the scripts. But to me, the first season was really just putting this whole scheme in motion and discovering it's a lot more dangerous than he thought it would be. And so I think season 2 is confronting the fact that this is not a terribly sustainable way to survive. And I think, season 2, he has to begin considering, do I up the ante so that I could get in and get out and be finished with this? Or is this just something I need to stop and come up with another plan? But I think season 2 is much more of a reckoning in terms of this little scheme I'm doing. Like, it's clearly not sustainable. So what's my next move?
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.